Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your boy Ryan, aka Clutch Sports Talk. Welcome to a new edition of Clutch Sports Talk with me, your host Ryan Flowers. And this is a special edition. Why? Because I'm live right now. I'm streaming live for the very first time. My podcast, man, it's crazy to begin to think about where I began, just recording audio clips from my phone. Now I'm trying to elevate myself and just do better. But hey, I appreciate everyone who's come in, who's checked in, who's actually listened to my stuff before, and has continued to support me along this way. So I'm very excited to bring this edition to you guys. So, man, very excited. Got a lot to talk about tonight, man. We got the NBA draft going on right now, so that's exciting. The first pick should be coming down any minute. So if you're live with me right now, you'll get that result as well. We got NBA, we got player movement going on. We got Russell Westbrook, James Harden looking to get out of Houston. We got trades, free agency, NFL talk. Jameis Winston, can he handle the load? Can he fill in Drew Brees' shoes while Drew Brees will be out for a few weeks? Jim Harbaugh, man, is it time for him to get out of Michigan? And lastly, I'm going to talk about Notre Dame football and are they for real? But before I do that, make sure if you haven't subscribed to my Instagram page, make sure you hit me up at clutch.sports.talk. As well, look me up on YouTube at Clutch Sports Talk. And also you can find my other content, which is listed on the All Pro Sports Digital YouTube page. And also Facebook. You can just search me under Ryan Flowers. I got my business page, Clutch Sports Talk, next to that as well. But hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. Let's just get straight into it. So the draft is about to start at any minute right now. So I kind of look at this draft as there's a lot of talented players, but to me, there's not really one superstar player that I can actually pick out. Now, there are like 4 or 5 guys that can do something a little bit and have the potential, but there are some guys that you're going to have to wait and see on what they do. My problem right now, like I said again, is just that you can't. The draft overall is this. It's not an exact science, right? So you don't know what kind of players you're going to be drafting or what you're getting. You're just going based off of potential. LaMelo Ball obviously is one of the top picks that you can see. He might go number 1. You got Anthony Edwards, the kid out of Georgia. But those 2 guys alone, I'm not going to get into the other guys, but those 2 guys alone, those are probably the 2 top picks, right? When you look at LaMelo Ball, obviously he's a playmaker. He's like 6'5" point guard, can pass, needs to work on his shot a little bit more. But for me, I think what's going to come down to him is, can he play defense in the NBA? You never really seen him play defense. If you followed him all the way back from Chino Hills when he was a 14-year-old freshman playing with his brothers, you never really seen him play defense. All you saw him was cherry picking, all that other stuff. He went to Lithuania. From what I understand, those games were actually exhibitions, and he wasn't actually really playing the top best athletes that Lithuania had to offer in that league. Now he goes over to Australia, plays for the NBL, wins Rookie of the Year, has a phenomenal season. Great, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying the NBL is not the greatest league in the world, but it's not the NBA, obviously. So, the story will tell on LaMelo Ball. My biggest concern for him is the physicality and defense. Will he be able to kind of hang in there with NBA players? And and a lot of rookies say, for the most part, their first couple games in the NBA, it boils down to the physicality. They're not used to guys banging with each other. You don't think about basketball as being a physical, intense sport, but it actually is. I've had the opportunity to sit courtside a few times at some games, college and NBA, and you can see these guys move up and down the court. It's very physical. Can LaMelo do it? Will he get his weight up? Can he get his strength up? So that we'll have to wait and see. And then the other guy, Anthony Edwards. Some reports came out today. I was watching. I believe it was Colin Cowherd. He read something that basically Anthony Edwards is he kind of likes basketball, but he's not in love with basketball. He's not like a legit hooper. Now he's been blessed with some physical attributes, that make him a top pick in the NBA. But he made a statement not too long ago saying if he got an NFL contract, he would probably go out and dip and play in the NFL rather than play in the actual NBA. And I guess he's into hip hop or rap music, which is fine. But I feel like, I think he might be thinking about too much. And so we don't know if he has the drive. And same thing with LaMelo. LaMelo has had it all since, since he was 14, right? He's got Lonzo, who was a top pick for the Lakers. His other brother, who's trying to make the league. But, when you're getting a Ferrari or Porsche or Lamborghini, whatever it was when he was 16, man, that's a lot. Now, he does have the talent, but back to Anthony Edwards, I think that for both of these guys and a lot of these guys, they may fall prey to just having too many things so young and so quickly, which I'll touch base here in a second. But other than that, man, I mean, I don't know if the first pick's in yet. Yeah, the first pick is about to be in. Hey, man, make sure you guys, if you're in the room, leave some comments, man. I appreciate that. We're just going to keep it moving here just 1 second here, but I got my cousin on the line, Errol Swazo, man. What's up, man? He says Lonzo learned the hard way. His first year with Pat Bev pushed him pushed him all over in his first game. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kimo. I remember that game like it was nothing. So looks like the first pick is not in yet. The Timberwolves are on the clock, but I'll make sure I give you guys the update on that as well. So, but back to the draft, I think that like any draft in any sport, you got to do your due diligence. And I think you're investing a lot of money and time in essentially kids. And so, you got to make sure you get it right. And I know a lot of teams, do a good job. Some teams don't do a good job. But I think for me this year, there's no real clear superstar. You could be picking 15th and might potentially have the best player in the draft. We just don't know yet. You look at guys like, Donovan Mitchell, who went, I believe he went like 14th or 15th. And, he's a franchise player for Utah Jazz. Just because you're picked number one doesn't mean you're going to have the success you think you'll have just because you're number one. Because guess what? Guys in the NBA, they're watching this stuff tonight and they're like, you know what? I want to go right at that dude, like Lonzo, just especially with Lonzo and his dad and all that situation. So, but like I said, no real clear superstar. If you guys think you disagree, let me know in the comments, man. Let me know what you're thinking. I appreciate it. So, still no word. Minnesota Timberwolves are first on the clock. And who will they go with? They have some potential needs. They got Karl Anthony Towns, you got D'Angelo Russell there. Do they need a wingman? Because the league, you need wingmen in this league. Maybe Anthony Edwards goes to Minnesota. I don't know. Will they take LaMelo Ball? Probably not, because they already have a point guard in D'Angelo Russell. So other than that, man, let's move on. We're going to be moving on next. A lot of stuff going on in the NBA today. All this week, we got potential. We had trades that went down as early as Monday, some guys moving around. But the three teams that I want to focus on right now is the Lakers, Suns, and the Bucks. I'll start with the Suns. So they made the trade for Chris Paul. Chris Paul is being sent over to Phoenix. Phoenix actually finished really well in the bubble. If you remember, they finished 8-0 in the bubble. They came close to making a playoff bid, but they ended up getting beat out. Monty Williams has that team playing really nicely. Can they take that momentum from the bubble and bring it back to the 2021 season? We'll have to see. But Chris Paul definitely, to me, I think is a big boost to that franchise. I mean, the Phoenix Suns were a proud franchise. They had great teams back in the day, early 90s with Dan Marley, Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, all those other guys. And then, you fast forward a little bit, they had Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, and then after that, it was kind of like, it's dormant. Like, what happened to the Phoenix Suns? So I'll tell you what happened. The ownership probably isn't the best. They don't want to spend money. There's really no fan buzz. If you've ever been to the Phoenix area, you don't even hear about the Phoenix Suns. And if you've ever been to that arena, I've been to larger high school arenas for basketball than Talking Stick. So there's not a lot of buzz with the Phoenix Suns. Now, there was a little bit at the end of this bubble. Why? Because they played well. They got two good, nice young players. One is a budding superstar in Booker. Booker played out of his mind. I think he dropped 40 a few times in the bubble. DeAndre Ayton played really well. And this is where Chris Paul comes in and actually makes them a better team. Now they can pick and roll. They can pick and pop. DeAndre Ayton is a better scorer than DeAndre Jordan was when Chris Paul was a Clipper. And I think Devin Booker is a straight shooter, very dead eye. I mean, so excuse me. There's a lot to be seen. Now, from a money standpoint, if you're the Phoenix Suns, they're going to put butts in the seats. Now, why? Because you have a legendary player, a future Hall of Famer, and Chris Paul coming in. I think both teams won the trade. I was, talking to my cousin about it a few days ago. We were kind of going back and forth in regards to, who got the better of the trade. I feel like both teams did what they needed to do. I think OKC is looking to unload and salary dump, and they're looking for picks. They're building for the future. Where the Phoenix Suns, they got some guys. They see what they got, and they have a solid coach in Monty Williams. And so I think they're thinking, well, they're not going to win the NBA championship. We just know that, even if they make another move. Okay, I get it, but for them, they've hadn't had any success in quite some time. So for them, I guess they're well, if we can vie for the 6 to 8 seed, maybe that'll kind of create some energy around the city, get the arena going and stuff like that. Because the Phoenix Suns this is what the Clippers used to be. You go to watch a game in Phoenix to see the visiting team. Like if LeBron and the Lakers go there, you're going to watch the Lakers player you play. You don't care about who's on the Phoenix Suns roster. So for my people in LA, you guys know what that's about. We used to go to the sports arena all the time, not to see Lloyd Vaught and Danny Manning play. We came to see, at the time, Jordan back in the day, Barkley, those guys like that when the Bulls came into LA, because the Clippers tickets were cheap, back in those days. So Phoenix Suns, I think, did a really good job. And remind you, Chris Paul played under Monty Williams back in New Orleans a long time ago. So I think it's a really good fit for the Phoenix Suns and Oklahoma City Thunder. So sticking with the Oklahoma City Thunder, they traded Dennis Schroeder to the LA Lakers. Danny Green was shipped off, and now Danny Green is somewhere else now. He's being passed around right now somewhere in the NBA. I think he went to Philly now, but I think this is a good move. I think the Lakers think that they're gonna lose Rondo either to Atlanta or the Clippers because it's based off money. Now, Dennis Schroeder is a willing defender. He's definitely a shooter, and he's aggressive, and I think he'll fit nicely with LeBron and AD. He doesn't, even though he's a point guard, he doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands as a point guard, because we all know that LeBron will actually control the ball more often than not in the Lakers offense. So Dennis Schroeder, they get younger there, which what they needed to do. I know there was rumors about maybe trading Kuzma and Danny Green to San Antonio for DeMar DeRozan. It was a nice thought, but I think Dennis Schroeder actually makes the Lakers actually even better, because Danny Green didn't. Let's just face it, the Lakers, they got suckered into that deal, and now he's not looking the greatest. So looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves pick is in. Let's check it out, see what they got going. They take Anthony Edwards, first pick of the draft. Anthony Edwards, man, he's going to Minnesota. So good luck to that young brother, man. I'm not trying to hate on these guys. I'm just telling you guys the facts, and I hope he has a great career in Minnesota. So Anthony Edwards is the number 1 pick in the draft. And so that means the Golden State Warriors are on the clock, and they might take a big man. So they might take the kid, James Wiseman out of Memphis. And then who knows? The Hornets might take LaMelo Ball, and we could actually get that one-on-one between LeVar Ball and Michael Jordan. So anyway, congratulations to Anthony Edwards on that. So, but yeah, back to the Lakers. I think their roster's looking pretty solid again. They'll probably be the front runners to win. It is what it is. So, hey, if you're in the room right now, make sure you leave a like and post some comments, man. Let me know, guys, what you think. What's going on in your mind right now? You think Anthony Edwards is going to be good or not? Let me know. I'll keep you guys up to date what's going on in the draft if you're not able to. But Anthony Edwards just was picked by the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. So, yeah. So Warriors might take LaMelo. Clay had an appearance, right? Oh, yeah, that's another thought too. Yeah. If you guys don't know, Klay Thompson suffered another lower leg injury. They're not clear exactly what happened. They're going to get further results from the medical staff there, but who knows? Maybe it's serious. Maybe they know already. They haven't put it out there, and maybe LaMelo will go to Golden State to play with Steph Curry, man. So that might be crazy, dude, because he won't have to do a lot. That's a veteran team. They just need to come in and score. I actually like that fit, to be honest with you. If Klay Thompson is hurt, I really like that. I like that fit a lot, actually. So if, prayers to Klay Thompson. Hopefully it's not serious. Hopefully he can bounce back and begin the season. But if it is serious, maybe they take LaMelo and maybe try to move on from Klay Thompson, depending on how severe the injury is. So appreciate the comments down there. So the other team I want to talk about is the Milwaukee Bucks. They traded for Drew Holiday. I like that. They traded away Eric Bledsoe, Ilan Ilyasova, another big man, and some draft picks as well. Excuse me. They're trying to keep Giannis. Now, the Bucks are a good regular season team. There's no denying that. There's no denying that they're a great regular season team. It's the playoffs, and they need more scoring. Now, Drew Holiday isn't necessarily like a great scorer, but he's a great on-the-ball perimeter defender. One of the best in the league. If you ask anybody out there, he doesn't get a lot of publicity because he's been on, so many teams right now with New Orleans, et cetera, et cetera. But he is a definitely baller. He can play the game of basketball. Excuse me. I like the pickup. Does it take them over the top? I don't think so. They also made a trade for Bogdanović from Sacramento, but I'm hearing reports that he does not agree with the sign and trade, and he is looking to become a free agent this Friday. So if they're able to sign him somehow, I like that, because a lot of people don't know about this guy, Bogdanović from Sacramento, because let's be real. Sacramento doesn't get a lot of coverage in the NBA. You barely see them on national TV games. But I watch the Lakers, so I see him a lot. He's a really good scorer, really good player. I think that if they were able to land him, that would help some scoring with Chris Middleton and Giannis, because Giannis have not developed a An outside jumper. What's up, Mel, man? Appreciate it. Hashtag Lakers, hashtag back to back. Yeah, we'll see. But Giannis needs help. He still needs help. I think having Drew Holiday is a nice piece, because that's where they kind of lacked last year. Eric Bledsoe was a point guard, but he's not like a true point guard. Excuse me, point guard. He's more of a scorer, kind of small in size, and Drew Holiday's a better defender, but they lack scoring when they need it, especially if Giannis gets into one of those, funks where he can't dunk the ball all the time. So Milwaukee, they're trying to keep Giannis. I think he'll end up staying. I feel like he's a nice guy, so he'll end up probably just staying. So we'll just have to wait and see with the Bucks, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for the Milwaukee Bucks for sure. Definitely for sure. So let's see. Warriors are still on the clock. We might get LaMelo. Hey, what's up, Munoz? What's up, man? How you doing, man? So appreciate you guys for getting in the comment section, man. We're gonna get it popping in here. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, this is the first live edition of Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. That's me. All pro digital sports. We trying to do big things here, man. So we're just gonna keep moving on. So the next thing is we got Harden and Westbrook, both superstars in their own right, both recent MVPs, both looking to get out of Houston. Now, when this whole thing started with them trading away CP3 to Oklahoma City to get Russell Westbrook, I'm kind of thinking like why would you trade? I like Westbrook, but he doesn't fit well with James Harden. James Harden needs the ball. Russell Westbrook needs the ball. They made the playoffs, but they really didn't have that much success, and they're looking to call it quits in the first season. Now Westbrook, he wants out. There's a potential deal out there for him between John Wall, so they're flip-flopping those two guys. Here's the thing with John Wall. He's been out 2 years. He's got questions with his maturity, things of that nature. I guess he got hurt last year or something like that, tore his Achilles getting out the shower. Who knows if that's true or not. Hasn't really played great basketball. He's had spurts, not the type of caliber that Westbrook is. Westbrook is an actual MVP. He can say that. He can put that on his resume. Now, if that trade was to happen, obviously the Wizards would win that trade because you're getting, Westbrook, obviously. Now, I'm not that high on Westbrook anymore, but he's better than John Wall. But if you're looking to just blow it up, if you're the Houston Rockets, then so be it. It is what it is. Now, the crazy thing is Houston doesn't have to do anything. They got both these guys under contract, right? So Harden wants to go to Brooklyn. He wants to team up with Kevin Durant. Now, there's some rumblings that it's KD wants Harden, and Kyrie doesn't really. He's like, Now you got to think about Kyrie. Kyrie, he's got some issues, right? He didn't want to play with LeBron, so he got out of there, right? He goes over to Boston, says he's going to re-sign with them in some type of pep rally. He flakes out on them as well. Now he goes to Brooklyn, and now he teams up with KD. So here's the thing. If I'm the Brooklyn Nets, if there's any chance you're going to get James Harden, you better move Kyrie Irving. You better move him, because if I'm the Houston Rockets, you better take him. Yeah, flat Earth, right? That's right, Akeem. That's the flat Earth dude. If I'm the GM for the Brooklyn Nets, and I go over to Houston because Daryl Morey's gone, and that's another thing. With James Harden, he's looking around. He's like, man, Westbrook wants out. The coach leaves. The GM is out of there. It's a mess, right? So he's looking to get out. But if I'm the GM of the Brooklyn Nets, I'm calling over. I'm picking up the phone and I'm like, hey, man, we heard Harden, because here's the thing. They know, everyone knows now that James Harden wants out. So right now, the Houston Rockets don't have any leverage because they're not going to force this guy to play. And I'll get in that in just a second. So you call him up and you're like, hey, listen up, man. I want Harden right now. I'll give you Kyrie and a few other guys like Karis LeVert, maybe Spencer Dinwiddie, and some other guys, and maybe a couple draft picks, right? And you make that deal happen. If those two play together, I think those two are more willing to play together, obviously, than Kyrie. I think that, KD is he's an alpha male in his own right. Now he's a little, funny sometimes, we get the burner accounts, but here's the thing. You can kind of trust KD and you can trust James Harden for the most part. Now, if all three of them were to play together, this is what would have to happen. Everybody would have to know their role on the team. KD would be the guy. He has to be the guy. Now, we don't know what his what his game is going to be like because he's coming off an Achilles injury as well. So who knows, right? But say in a perfect world, everything is good. They all play together. They got to know who's the guy. KD is the guy. Westbrook, Harden is the 2, and Kyrie is the 3rd option. And that's that. Now, if Kyrie doesn't want to live with that, then you trade him somewhere because you can get good assets for Kyrie Irving at this point. Now, he doesn't play a lot now because he's always hurt, it seems like. But if you have Harden and KD, say KD goes down, you still have Harden, which you can trust because he doesn't get hurt that often. Now, he does wear down sometimes in the playoffs because he has to do a lot. So it is what it is, man. But here's the thing with the NBA, and I think the NBA is on a slippery slope. The NBA is very progressive. I give them that. They led the whole Black Lives Matter thing on the court and the names on the back of the jersey. Very, very conscientious to the times of society. And I get all that. And that's cool. But it's a players-driven league. And I'm all about player mobility. I mean, I'm all about mobility for myself. Like, if I feel like I can get a better deal somewhere else at another job, then why not go? Like, I shouldn't feel tied to stay somewhere. But here's the caveat to that as a consumer, right? Say this happens, right? It's like the Golden State Warriors all over again. We're going to see the Brooklyn Nets in the finals, 4 or 5 times in a row before that gets broken up. And they're probably going to end up winning it all, even against the Lakers and LeBron, because that's a solid team. If you think about it, KD, because who can match up with KD really when he's on? Nobody, right? And if you can't double him, because if you double him, they just kick it over to Harden. And if you try to slow him down, guess what? Kyrie Irving is one of the best scorers that we've seen as a point guard in the NBA ever, right? So now you have these super teams now. And LeBron is partly to blame for that because guess what? Like, I know we had the big 3 in Boston and it was nice, but it wasn't kind of like this. Like, LeBron made a power move and he was like, man, I'm moving. This is what I'm doing. I'm working with this guy to come here. I'm working with this guy to stay here. And this is what we're going to do. And so there's definitely a problem in the NBA with that because now these teams, it's going to be super teams all over again. And it was, I mean, the bubble was nice because you saw a lot of teams step their game up and it was nice to know that you weren't going to see Golden State. And I know I got some Golden State fans, people out there, and I get that, but it's kind of like, it was refreshing to see somebody else be in there. Now LeBron was in the finals again, but it was nice to see somebody else win something or be in contention. So, but like I said, I'm not against player mobility and movement. I just want things to kind of be spread out a little bit more. But if that deal goes down, man, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens because that's a lot of egos in that room, in that locker room to kind of quell. So, it's just a wait and see type of situation. Now, I forgot to give you guys an update. James Wiseman, Golden State takes James Wiseman. LaMelo Ball is still on the clock. So maybe Klay Thompson's going to be all right. Maybe they know something we don't know, but keep it posted right here. So we're going to segue from the NBA. And like I said, I'm going to give you guys updates still as well on what's going on with the draft if you're not able to watch the draft. But the other thing I want to talk about tonight is Jameis Winston. And we're moving on to the NFL. Yeah, quick transition. NFL, right? Drew Brees is out maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And this is a very pivotal next 2-3 weeks for the New Orleans Saints. They got, I believe, Atlanta. Let's see. They got Atlanta, Denver, Philly, and Atlanta in the next 4 weeks, right? So I just took some notes. Now, we all know Jameis Winston can turn the ball over like nobody else, right? He's like a baker, just handing over turnovers. Boom, 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 right? That was with Tampa Bay. Maybe he's figured it out now. Maybe he's under a new system with Sean Payton. We all know that he has talent. There's no denying that. He has a good arm. He's able to put up stats. It is what it is. He's got talent. There's no denying that. Now, sometimes people question his judgment. He's had all those incidents with the crab legs and yelling profanities on a bench in Tallahassee when he was at Florida State, all kinds of stuff, right? But the guy has talent. He was a number 1 draft pick for a reason, or number 2, I forgot what it was. It's so long ago now, I can't believe that. But he's got talent. Now, he's in a new system with Sean Payton. He's been able to kind of sit back and watch Drew Brees. That's one of the reasons why he even went to New Orleans. He said in an interview that he didn't really take a long time to be in free agency. He said, you know what, I want to get my PhD in quarterbacking. So why not go and work with one of the 2 best tandems in Sean Payton and Drew Brees? So maybe he's able to learn. Maybe he's able to learn from this and maybe this will translate on the field. He doesn't have to do a lot. You got Alvin Kamara, you got some good receivers, and maybe the type of offense will help him. Now, he needs to do one thing, really, not turn the ball over. The New Orleans Saints defense is playing really well right now. There's no denying that. They're coming off of 2 really solid wins. They beat down Tampa Bay. the other day. I forgot who they played last week, and they won that game as well. So they're on the uptick, and they're playing really good football in a good time. The Drew Brees scenario kind of hurts them in a little bit because you're right in the mix with it right now, and you're doing good. And then he goes out with like 5 fractured ribs, a collapsed lung. I mean, and here's the thing with Drew Brees. Was this his final year? It might have been. And it might still be, but we don't know. Maybe he wants to come back next year, barring any type of injury, and play out a full season. But Jameis Winston is definitely on audition for not the league, if not the New Orleans Saints, because they're in the market for a quarterback. A lot of people are like, well, they got Taysom Hill. Yes, they got Taysom Hill, but he's not a traditional quarterback. Like, yes, he can throw. Yes, he played quarterback. But I don't know. I'm not in their meetings. I'm not in the film room with them. Is he really like taking that many snaps? Is he diving into the film like that? Because guess what? He plays running back, wide receiver. He's a gunner on special teams. Like, he does everything, right? So he's more of an athlete to me versus a quarterback, where Jameis Winston is bred to be a quarterback. So as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, make stupid decisions, and please, no more pregame speeches with, we got it. We don't need any of that. Just go out there, hand the damn ball off to Alvin Kamara, throw to Michael Thomas, and you'll win a few ball games until Drew Brees comes back and he can right the ship. Oh, I mean, if they can go, say he misses 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If they can go 2-1, that's a win. But Atlanta's playing pretty good football since firing Dan Quinn. Denver is kind of up and down, but I feel like Denver is not as good as the New Orleans Saints. But Atlanta definitely can pose a challenge, because we all know that if we watch football, divisional games are tough, man. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section. For those of you in here, I appreciate you guys who are locked in, man. We got the NBA draft going on. I'm talking NFL football right now. Lamar Ball going to the Charlotte Hornets. I called it, man. He's going. So we're gonna get that one-on-one, right? We're gonna get that one-on-one. LeVar Ball and Michael Jordan never lost, right? That's what he said, never lost. So LaMelo Ball will be going to Charlotte and playing for Michael Jordan with the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, it's just the Charlotte Hornets. They don't really have a lot per se. They don't. He'll be a superstar there. So, but probably won't see him a lot, which I'm kind of disappointed. I would have liked to have seen him maybe go to Golden State, or not even Minnesota, or even Chicago. Chicago would have been a nice place for him because they're on TV a lot. But back to Jameis. I mean, Jameis, good luck to him, man. You're definitely on audition. Hopefully he can hold down the fort until Drew Brees comes back, man, because it's definitely going to be a situation there. Okay. All right. So moving off the NFL, we're moving over to college football. So I do have some Michigan fans that support me and follow me. I got some friends that are like that. Jim Harbaugh, they're not doing good. They just coming off of a terrible loss. They got beat down by Wisconsin, or was it Indiana? One of those two teams came into the big house and destroyed them. Now, is it time for Jim Harbaugh to go? Here's some thoughts on this, right? And let me know what you guys think, right? Let me know what you guys are thinking right now. It's Wednesday night. We're watching the draft. We're talking Jim Harbaugh. Now, as I was writing up my notes for this, I'm starting to think, is Jim Harbaugh a bad coach? Does he just not know how to coach after double digits years of coaching football? I don't know. I mean, he's been able to resurrect everywhere he's been. He started off at University of San Diego, the Toreros. He built that program up. Moves on to Stanford, built that program up. Takes a job, with the 49ers, takes them to a Super Bowl. Wears out his welcome. He's out of a job. Goes to Michigan. Kind of pieces stuff back together. He replaces Brady Hoke. But he hasn't had a lot of success in regards to beating Ohio State. He's never beat Ohio State. He's never drafted a number one quarterback. Now, he's been there a few years now, and he still cannot develop a quarterback, which is crazy to me. How you not get a quarterback to go to Michigan? Now, we all know by far the Ohio State Buckeyes run the Big Ten. They get all the top 5 recruits. So he's being out-recruited as well, too. But why is that? I don't know. I mean, is he too rigid? Is his style of play is not the best? I don't know. I think that right now a lot of teams are struggling with COVID, and some aren't, because some teams are doing really well. But a lot of teams in the Big Ten mainly are struggling with COVID. You got PJ Fleck, who was a outstanding young coach for the University of Minnesota. He's struggling. Penn State struggling, pretty tremendously. They're like 0-4. It is what it is. But Jim Harbaugh, I think it is time for him to go. maybe he's more suited for for the NFL style. Now, of course, there are going to be jobs open. Not the Dallas Cowboys job because Jerry Jones will hang on to Mike McCarthy for another 10 years or so. But that's for another episode. But it's time for him to leave Michigan. I think he should probably just step down at the end of the year. Now, he could leave, or he could. I mean, if he stays, they're probably going to force him out. But the thing with the NFL, it's hard, man. People don't realize that when you're a college coach, like a Nick Saban or a Dabo Swinney, you have free will to do whatever you want to do. You pick your players, you run the media. There's nothing anybody can say bad about you, or you kick them out. The NFL is different, man. You can't come and it's worked for a few guys, but a lot of guys come from college and go to the NFL, and it never really works out. Or excuse me, yeah. So, and now he's flipped it. Now he's going from pro to college, and it's just never really worked out. Now they've had good defenses in the past. Some guys got drafted, but overall he hasn't developed a lot of good talent, especially at quarterback. But the NFL is hard. Maybe he's more suited for that. Maybe he needs to find a job, which, like I said, there will be an opportunity for him to go back. But Michigan fans are done with it. They're tired. Like, hell, I mean, if he beat Ohio State this year, maybe that saves his job. But Ohio State's not losing this year to nobody in the Big Ten, I don't think. Now they got a tough matchup this weekend against University of Indiana, but Michigan is not a great. I mean, I've never been to Michigan. I can only assume just from watching TV, it looks like a great environment when you play there. But they just don't have the talent like they used to, like back in the day when they had Charles Woodson, Anthony Thomas, guys like that, Braylon Edwards, guys that were really good. But Jim Harbaugh, I think it's time for him to move off, man. I don't know if he'll get another coaching job in college. I mean, but maybe he's a pro guy and that's where he needs to go back. But he does wear out his welcome very shortly. Now he's been there, almost 5-6 years, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Michigan Wolverine fans are ready for him to move on, man. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, again, thank you for those who are in here locked in. Get me right, man. I appreciate you guys for watching me. This is the first live edition of Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers, man. So this will also be recorded, and so it'll be up on YouTube as well if you guys want to watch it later on, whatever it is, what it is. But I'm definitely excited. So let's see. Chicago Bulls took a player. They take a kid out of Patrick Williams. He is a small forward out of Florida State. Nice pick. Nice wing perimeter dude. So, keeping you guys up to date with what's going on with the NBA draft. The Chicago Bulls just took Patrick Williams out of Florida State. LaMelo Ball goes to the Charlotte Hornets. James Wiseman goes to the Golden State Warriors, and Anthony Edwards is the first draft pick of the NBA 2020 draft pick. He's going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So just keeping you posted, keeping you guys up to date on what's going on. So last thing I want to touch on tonight before I get you guys out of here, we've been really rolling. We're past the halfway or 30-minute mark. So thank you guys for rocking with me. Appreciate the support again. I want to talk a little bit about Notre Dame. They don't get a lot of respect, as of late. I know they've been beaten down a few times in the past, but I want to take the time tonight to give them their props. They've actually are having a really good season. They knocked off the number 1 or number 2 team at the time, Clemson at home. Man, granted, they didn't have their starting quarterback, but the quarterback they did play against was really good. DJ Ungalehi. I can't say his name. I'm butchering it, but forgive me. But here's the thing with Notre Dame. This is why they're legit. This is why I think they're legit. And people are going to be like, oh, it's Notre Dame. They're legit because they play. Well, let me go backwards. A lot of people don't understand football. They think it's about wide receivers and running backs and scoring. Yes, that's all important. And you need those. They're all complementary to what you need to do. But football is won in the trenches. That's where it's won. That's where you win football games. Can you block for your quarterback? And can you get after the quarterback? And Notre Dame can do that. And particularly, they can block their arses off. Okay, and I didn't say ass, their arses. They've had several top offensive lineman draft picks get drafted. You think of guys like Ronnie Stanley, who's the highest paid offensive lineman now. He got hurt. Prayers to him. You got Quentin Nelson in Indianapolis. You got Zach Martin. And there's probably a few other guys that I can't think off the top of my head. But they're able to run. And if you watch that game against Clemson a few weeks ago, they were able to run the ball. Now, Ian Booker is not the greatest quarterback. He's a good college quarterback, but they're able to run the ball. They're able to be physical at the point of contact. And that's what you need to do when you play football. You need to be more physical than your opponent. And that's what they're able to do. Now, in years past, Notre Dame has made national championships. I think they went to the national championship in 2012 and got destroyed by Alabama. And why? Because Alabama was far more superior on their offense and defensive lines. And a few years ago, too, like I said, this is recent success. The Notre Dame played Clemson, I believe, and if not last year, the year before, they got blown out as well. But now their line is on par with what the big boys are doing as far as the SEC and Clemson. I watch teams like USC because I'm a USC fan. They look like a JUCO team. They look very small up front, very tiny. But when you watch Notre Dame pull up, man, that offensive line they're behemoths. They're huge out there, man. They're huge. Now, some of you might be rolling your eyes and saying, oh, it's Notre Dame. They suck, whatever. It is what it is. But now they're going to have to play Clemson again because they're in the ACC with them now. And Trevor Lawrence will be good to go, barring no one else has COVID at that time. But that's going to be an epic matchup. But they were able to slow down Etienne, their running back. They're physical, man. And I really like what they're doing. Brian Kelly has done a hell of a job there. He's been there for so long. Like, he can get an NFL coaching job. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that he can't get an NFL coaching job. But why would he want to go and coach the NFL? And another thing about Notre Dame is that they're doing all this. They're getting really solid talent, and they have a very strict and rigorous academic requirement, unlike some of the schools in the SEC or in the South or anywhere else. Like, it's hard, man. I watched a documentary a few years ago about Notre Dame football and the rigor some of these guys are going through. A lot of these guys, especially some of their players, they're not just taking, physical education as their major. And no offense to anyone that's done that. I'm not saying that's not hard, but they got guys that are like trying to be like astrophysicists, doctors, surgeons, and they're playing college football. For those who played college sports, man, you got to realize that it's hard to be a college athlete and then maintain your studies. And then on top of that, if you're taking courses that are super hard, it makes it even harder. So, but Notre Dame, man, they're doing a good job, man. Props to them. I think they'll get in the top four. If they don't lose, they'll get in the top four. Even if they lose, probably in the ACC conference championship, I think, is there a conference championship? I believe there is. They'll probably still get in because right now the top four teams in the country, to me, you got Clemson, of course, in no particular order, Clemson, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Those are the four. But now you got Cincinnati, BYU, these other teams that are kind of undefeated. They're kind of, I don't think they're ready to hang with the big boys yet. But those four teams, definitely, mark my words, will probably be in the first recordings, the reports of the first when they drop the first four playoff teams. So, it's gonna be exciting. But Notre Dame, man, props to them. They're looking good. They're looking good, and I like what they're doing out there. Even as a Trojan fan, I gotta give them props. I'm not gonna be a hater like that. But other than that, man, my time is up. We're almost at 40 minutes. I appreciate you guys logging in, spending your Wednesday night with me, listening to me talk for almost 40 minutes. I appreciate you guys. It was very exciting to get this show live for you guys. I'm looking to boost my following, man. Please share if you like my content, man. I appreciate it. I do this for you guys. This started, back in whenever the pandemic set off, man. And like I said, it started with just me actually talking about the NFL draft. And oddly enough, I'm doing my first live during the NBA draft. So almost a full circle. I'm so proud to bring all this content to you guys, man. It's something that I love doing. I get up for this. I look forward to this, and I appreciate your guys' support. So make sure you tell everyone about it, man. Let me know, man. Leave a like, share, comment, do what you got to do. Hit me up on Instagram, YouTube, on the All Pro Sports digital page as well. We got a lot of big things popping. So this will probably be the new format of my show moving forward every Wednesday at 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Hit me in my inbox, DM. My Clutch Sports Gmail is clutchsportstalkpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know, man. I'm really interested to see what your guys' feedback was tonight, man. But other than that, be on the lookout for Sunday. I'll be streaming live again on Sunday. I don't know if I'll probably do on Instagram or I might get on this again, but I always do my pregame NFL Week 11 matchups, give you my picks, give you my comments on that. So be on the lookout for that. I also have an interview right now on YouTube that I just posted today with Steven Cruz. Steven Cruz is a flag runner for the Dallas Cowboys. It was a great interview. I got to learn a lot about what flag runners do. If you don't know what a flag runner is, they're basically guys. I don't think there might be women. I don't know. I didn't ask them, but they carry this big old flag and they run. They hype the team up. They hype the crowd up. Steven Cruz has been doing that for quite some time. So I was interested to get his thoughts on that, because it's not every day that's like a typical job. Like when I saw that, I was like, well, how do you get into that? So the interview is in there. It's on my YouTube. It's also, I saw I posted a clip on Instagram. So check that out. Obviously, be on the lookout for Mondays as well. I got my film sessions, not know what I'm going to do yet, but check out the Tua. The Tua one is out there right now. It's a short clip. That's out there. So other than that, all the rest of my content is in the link on my Instagram at clutch.sports.talk. Other than that, man, it was an honor. It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun, man, with this. And be on the lookout again for next Wednesday. So, hey, that's my time. This is Clutch Sports Talk with me, Ryan Flowers. Never settle till the work is done. Peace out, guys.